Episode 17. A Russian Civil War? World War III started in November 2023, although people have claimed it began in March 2022 with Putin's invasion of Ukraine. In the years since the Chinese invasion of Taiwan Putin's been assassinated. The second Russia-Ukrainian war has ended. Taiwan's almost collapse has been turned around. Colombia's war against the Allies have lost them territory. And North and South Korea have united in one. Finally, though, peace in the world has happened as the guns fall silent in Taiwan last month. But in Russia, could Gersimov be moving for Navalny to topple the second government? He was in charge of the toppling of Putin's government. Could Russia be heading for another civil war? Welcome to episode 17, Russian Civil War. Last month, three of Russia's main leaders met in Belarus to discuss Alexei Navalny's reign. Gersimov, leader of the military, Shoigu, leader of the opposition, and Prigozhin, leader of Wagner Group. But before we go into the events, let's go into background. In the early 2000s, Prigozhin formed Wagner Group with the aim to help African nations in their revolts. Those were called the Arab Springs, by the way. It was swept across northern Africa. When Putin came to power, he increased how Wagner worked, and Prigozhin enjoyed his power in Africa. When the Russians invaded Armenia in the late 2000s, he sent lots of military mercenaries to help. This made him popular with Gersimov. Gersimov himself had a low life, not very popular, or very high ranked under Putin. No, he rose through the ranks from captain to general. He was loyal to Putin during the First Russo-Ukrainian War. Gersimov himself had a very clinical role, taking every opportunity with strength. Shoigu had also been part of the military, but when Putin came to power, he switched to politics. He had no major role until 2017. All three were happy with their roles when the war started in Ukraine, and during the early months of the war were fine. That was until Putin decided to remove Dvornikov from his role as Fifth Army commander because of what happened during the siege of Mariupol. Gersimov was furious with this and told Putin that Dvornikov was under my orders. If you cross over Mariupol, then you'll cross over what happened in Mariupol, then fire me, but not Dvornikov. With Putin telling him to go away and behave less like a 5-year-old, Gersimov did so, but was already plotting. The first person he went to was Prigozhin. In a coded email, Gersimov explained the situation and how he wanted to remove Putin from power in any possible way, even if that meant Putin's death. Prigozhin marched 3 divisions to Moscow under the pretense of leave, and 3 weeks later Gersimov made his move, killing Putin and announcing a free and fair election, which obviously he'd try not make free and fair and get Shoigu to win. This backfired terrifically, and Navalny won the election to the shock of Prigozhin, Shoigu and Gersimov. But Gersimov waited now, and last month met with Shoigu and Prigozhin in Minsk and put his second plan of operation into action. And this started as the 13th rolled around. Shoigu flew to St. Petersburg while Prigozhin went to Rostov-na-Don and mobilized some of his Wagner units, again under the pretense of exercises. Gersimov denounced Navalny and said that I will try to remove him in any way possible. Navalny, though, managed to get aid from Zerensky and half of the Ukrainian and half of the Russian army. Gerasimov wasn't backing down and Prigozhin marched for Moscow. Then in a shocking turn of events, which surprised the world, Lukashenko, who'd previously been an ally to Putin and leader of Belarus, arrested Gerasimov and sent him to Moscow. The army supporting Gerasimov split up, declaring for an army. The main threat was over. Shoigu fled the country, flying to China, but Prigozhin was still on the march. Not hearing of Gerasimov's arrest and Shoigu's flight, Navalny moved quickly, appointing Matthias Alesov as leader of the army, while Zerensky's troops marched to meet Prigozhin. The second battle of Kursk began. Zerensky's troops numbered at 200,000 while Prigozhin had 20,000, but Prigozhin's troops were more experienced. Zerensky knew that, so waited for reinforcements. The Ukrainians quickly fired upon the advancing Wagner troops, killing 271 men in the initial charge, but suffered 417 casualties themselves. Prigozhin used a flank attack to take the Ukrainians by surprise, but was eventually fought off. The Ukrainians losing 800 men compared to the 2,000 lost by Prigozhin. The attack now lost all momentum and cohesion, as soldiers were going down one by one, till they eventually surrendered. Prigozhin being killed in the fighting. Of the 200,000, Ukrainians lost 2,844 men, compared to the 14,183 surrendered suffered by Prigozhin. The Wagner rebellion was over. Gerasimov was imprisoned for 8 years while the Ukrainians gained a bit of territory. Europe was originally stunned, but soon congratulations flowed to Navalny, as Biden said, finally peace and order has been restored to Russia, and we are really grateful for it. In China, though, Shoigu got put in an advisor role with Cui, which surprised Europe, with Biden originally calling for Cui to kick out Shoigu. China declined and said, we will declare war on you if you ask us again. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.